I hate to say it, but a recession is all but guaranteed. We are now being warned by Walmart, of all companies, that a recession is likely coming. And millions of people are going to wonder, how do I prepare? Well, we'll get to that in a moment. But here's the thing you need to take away from this video. This recession indicator has been right the last 4 recessions. This is a huge problem because it's now flashing red. And this is the highest level we have seen since back in 2008. But look at this. It says a recession is guaranteed. But when? That's the big question. Nobody knows when this recession is going to hit us. How hard is it going to hit us? Which industries is it going to impact? And are we going to see unemployment go through the roof? Is inflation going to keep going up? A lot of questions. And I want to help you through this. But look at this right here. It says, a Wall Street Vet's Walmart recession indicator just hit its highest point since 2008. And he says the fear just keeps multiplying. I want to show you what this is. It says, a Walmart-related recession indicator that's preceded the last 4 economic downturns is flashing red. Want to explain why. Look at this though right here. It says Jim Paulson, who maintains the Walmart recession signal, which measures Walmart's stock price against a basket of luxury stocks. The general idea is that the higher the gauge goes, the more risk there is for a sharp economic downturn. I want to show you this chart. Here it is. This is the Walmart recession signal. Okay? This right here is 2008, 2009. You can see it right here. Okay? This is the highest we've been even during the pandemic. March 18th, 2020. This is as high as it went. 0.023. We are currently at 0.031. The highest we've ever been, 0.033. That was during the great financial crisis. That's a huge problem. I want to show you something though. Okay? Look at this right here. It says Paulson highlighted several worries he had about the U.S. economy, given the Walmart recession signal's recent rise. First, pain among lower and middle income consumers. Says the recent rise in the WRS suggests that lower and middle income households may be facing more financial pressures. Keep in mind, credit card spending, the usage has been going up. That is a concern because normally the lower and middle income households rely on credit cards far too much. That's kind of what has happened over the past year. And we have seen credit card spending go through the roof, and now we're hitting new records every single time. I want to keep reading it though. It says, stress throughout the economy is growing from the bottom part of the income distribution, and even if private financial health is sustained, the economy could still suffer a period of notably subpar real growth. Keep this in mind. Who normally shops at Walmart? It's usually the lower income and middle income households. But over the past several years, even high income earners have been shopping at Walmart and grocery outlet and the Dollar Tree in order to save money. If they can save a buck or two, they're going to do it. I want to keep reading this to you. Here are the other issues. Private credit problems. It says the WRS has historically been closely linked to the value of private credit assets. Paulson noted, concerns about the health of the private credit sector have also been rising in recent months as asset managers face a wave of withdrawal requests. I talked about this last week, that we are seeing these, some of the private credit money is trying to be pulled out, but some of these wealth managers are having to restrict it and saying that no, you cannot take your money out at this time. You have to wait. That's a problem. And then there's this one. It says the WRS also has been historically linked with the unemployment rate, Paulson said, citing that analysis of the recession signal and the jobless rate since 1990. During the late 1990s, the WRS rose substantially long before the unemployment rate finally surged. So based off what he's saying, we may have seen the unemployment rate go up, okay, a little bit, but we've also seen the WRS rose substantially. Again, I want to show you the chart here. Okay, we'll go right back to it. This is the chart. So we've seen unemployment go up recently, but it hasn't surged. This has surged. This has gone up substantially. The concern, though, is we may see this is the leading indicator, but then unemployment is coming later. That could be a problem. But I want to show you the next problem as well. Listen to this one.
I'm not sure that this Strait of Hormuz thing's ever going to clear up in the near term.
Yeah, well, even if, I mean, what does it mean to open the strait tomorrow? I mean, let's just assume that's a thing, and that could happen. You've still got all of these price effects and shortages in the pipeline. And businesses have to absorb that. Households have to absorb that. And some countries are going to be able to absorb it better than others. There are countries that will step in with food subsidies and other assistance like that. But there will be pain. Now, does that mean recession? Not necessarily. But I think the probability of recession here is higher than people think. And I would put it around 40%, which is meaningful.
Yes,
it's uncomfortable.
Yeah. She's putting the recession around 40%. Others have it even higher. There's some that are 60, 70% recession. And then there's some that say this is guaranteed. We are going to go through recession. But is it going to happen in 2026 or will it happen in 2027? They're saying it's going to be one of those two. But how do we get through this? That's the big question. So we know a recession's coming. We know there's indicators of a recession, right? They're all flashing red. How do we get through this? Well, there are some things you can do. Here are some of the things you can do to prepare. First off, okay, some of the things that you need to do is you need to cut some of your fixed expenses, okay? So these are things like your subscriptions. Do you need Netflix and Hulu and HBO and Peacock and Paramount? Do you need all those? If not, start cutting them. Cut them one by one. Because even though it's going to save you $9 and $7 and $13 and $21, at the end, it's going to save you $40, $50, $60 every single month. Okay, not a lot, but it is a decent start. So let's say you save $50 on subscriptions. What about car payments? Could you sell your car and get something a little bit less expensive so you get rid of the car payment? Maybe that saves you an additional $250 a month. Well, total, that's now $300. Could you also cut back on your cell phone plan? Maybe you save $10 per user. Maybe you got 4 lines. Well, there's $40 right there. That's, what's that, $340 you just saved. And then maybe you change your insurance premium. You go and shop it around and get a better rate. Maybe that saves you $30 a month. That's not a lot, but now you're at, what's that, $370 a month? The majority of it being your car payment? Again, it's something to think about. Here's the next thing. And this is where most people are pretty much screwing themselves over. When they go to the grocery store and buy food. And I've been talking about this for some time, and I'm going to do a video on this. Okay, I will be doing a video on this. So make sure you subscribe to this channel so that you don't miss that one. But I'm going to be doing a video talking about the name brand versus the store brand and how they're the exact same thing. They're the exact same product. Okay, exact same. I want to show you a couple examples here. Look at this one right here.
All right, my friends, I gotta know, what's your preference on trash bags? They're both $7. The difference is the Great Value has 40 bags, the Hefty has 20 bags. Clearly, I'm going with the Great Value because, well, it's a great value. And if you're the same as me, go ahead and give me the follow. And you know what?
Did you know that the Great Value kitchen bags are the exact same as Hefty? The same material? Did you know that? Even though the Hefty bags usually have a label that says Hefty on it, okay, and all the difference is the Great Value is white, Hefty is black. That's the only difference, okay? But you're saving money and you're getting double the amount of the Great Value versus Hefty. Yeah, I'd go with Great Value all day long to save money and get more of the product. Again, they're made in the exact same warehouse. There's no difference. But here's another one. Look at this one.
What's the difference between Bumblebee albacore tuna and Kirkland albacore tuna? Well, of course, you're not surprised that the Kirkland brand is cheaper and there's more tuna per can with the Kirkland brand. But surprisingly, they're both produced by Bumblebee.
They are. They're both produced by the same company in the exact same city, in the exact same warehouse. This is what's crazy, is that there's a lot of product over at Costco, even over at Walmart. I'll give you a few more examples here, okay? Let me just name off a few. So do you know that great value dairy products, like butter and yogurt, in some cases they're the exact same? They're made in the same warehouse, the same regional dairies, okay? Is like Land O'Lakes or whatever, okay? Here's another one. Just give you this one. Great value bread is the same as Bimbo Bakeries, but yet Great Value is a lot less. Even there's some Great Value products that are made by Sara Lee. They're made by the same company. Sara Lee, that makes like the pies. You can get the exact same Great Value pie as the Sara Lee brand. How crazy is that? And you're going to pay double for Sara Lee. I'll give you some Costco ones. Kirkland batteries. You know they're the same as Duracell? Most people don't know this. Okay? The pet food, Kirkland pet food, is the same as, I think, Diamond pet food. Okay? Exact same thing. And then the Keurig K-Cups, they're the exact same thing as the Kirkland cups. Again, some of them don't, or the Kirkland brand doesn't have the exact same flavors as Keurig. But the ones that they do, it's the exact same thing. Exact same inside product. It's the outside that's different. And again, I'm telling you this because people right now should be preparing for a recession. When this Walmart indicator is flashing red, which we haven't seen this in some time. And again, I'm going to show you this just to give you an idea here. Right here, this is March 18th, 2020. This is when we were going through the beginning of the pandemic. Guess what happened right after this? Well, we got stimulus, and a massive amount of stimulus. That stimulus did exactly what it was meant to do. Stimulate the economy, give the American people more money, give businesses more money, ensure that we were not laying off employees. And money was flowing into every single business, every single individual, even people that were laid off, were unemployed, were receiving a massive amount of federal funds. Now, that's the only reason why we did not get hit as hard as many people were predicting. But now, we are here. We are above that. We are past that. And we are reaching the highest level we've been since 2008. So again, the reason why I'm telling you this is to prepare. Because if you are not prepared for a recession, we see unemployment go up, we see the economy get hit, you may feel the effects very soon. I want to leave you with one last thing. How to prepare for a recession. Something that you need to do, at a minimum, have 3 months of expenses saved up. That is your emergency fund. My recommendation, based off what every other financial expert have said, is that you need at least 6 months, but in this current economy, 9 to 12 months is the ideal recommended amount of expenses you should have saved up. That should be your minimum emergency fund. So, I'll leave you with that, but if you have any questions regarding the recession, what's happening at Walmart, or if you prefer shopping at Walmart just because you like to save money, let me know and go ahead and hit that like button. Because again, every one of us is trying to save money just to make it through these tough times. So again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.